can't believe they released Elder Scrolls 6. April Fools, I got you.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, you took a moment to think of that as an intro.
I was put on the spot.
I respect it.
The worst part about that is this is going to get released on like the 10th of April. So we're about 9 days.
April Fools. I got you again.
I swear to God, Hushaf, if you do this every single like moment of the episode that you can.
I promise I won't. April Fools. I caught him again. Wow. I hate April Fools. Worst
This
time
is
of the
this
year.
is why we shouldn't allow you to have multiple cups of tea, because you go off the damn rails.
No food, just tea. That's all I've had today.
Coffee. But hello, my name is Bjorn.
I'm Shav.
I'm Kieran.
Wait, who's behind the camera?
I'm a ghost.
We got Kieran, ghost boy.
Yeah.
Okay, and welcome to the Underleveled podcast. When are we doing 20th Century Fox?
Yep. Shit, we're gonna get struck for that.
I think that's fine. That's fine.
You right?
We already have one copyright on the channel.
I was doing an interpretation of it, you know.
It's fine.
To cover.
Our copyright strike came from the fact that Kieran fully acted out every single anime. He did the whole One Piece as a one-man show.
I did.
That we uploaded uncut to, and he sang all the songs, perfectly Japanese, which
You are my friend. Wow, I love you always. Matemo. Sorry.
Honestly,
that's
it
not
kind
the
of sounds
same.
That
like a.
was the Naruto thing.
That's the Naruto one. One Piece, Naruto, same thing. One's just really long.
I love the idea of us always having to equate anything in life to Naruto.
I do that a lot.
Like we're talking about political parties, and you're like, so it's kind of like when the second Hashira was
Ex-
trying to take power from the third Hashira.
Dude, the Hashira.
Hashira is from.
That's,
Demon Slayer.
Oh wait, what do they have in?
That's a different political anime, dude.
What do they have in Naruto?
Hokage.
Hokage.
That's not the name.
I'm gonna be the next Hokage.
I wanna be
Tatabayo.
Dude, Hokage. Fun
Wait.
fact. All
Sorry.
the Hokage is basically nepotism.
Really?
Yeah.
No, he's right. It is.
As long as
Wait,
you're
because I
like-
know the fourth Hokage was Naruto's dad. Naruto is the sixth Hokage.
Yeah.
The fifth Hokage is
The only Hokage.
Tsunade.
No, the sixth-
Tsunade
no.
was
After Tsunade, it was eye guy. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank. White
guy.
hair.
oh
white hair.
Danzo. Yeah,
No,
No, the
white
teacher,
hair with a
dude.
Sharingan.
But,
Why
oh
can't
yeah, Kakashi.
Yeah, Kakashi.
yeah.
He's the
Kakashi
only.
sensei.
He's the only one who actually earned to be the Hokage.
Wait, who was
True.
the first Hokage then?
What?
Tobirama?
Tobirama. Well, no, it was Hashirama,
Hashirama.
who is basically the inventor of wood style,
Okay.
which is super.
And then the
fucking
second
strong.
Hokage?
Then it's his brother Tobirama.
Okay.
So there's
and the
the
third
nepotism.
Hokage?
Third is
the old guy.
And how are they
What's
related?
his name?
It's his son.
The son of the second Hokage?
Yeah. The first Hokage.
The son of the first...
No, I think it's like grandson.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because
You might be
Tsunade
right,
is the
grandson.
granddaughter,
Yes.
and then Hiruzen, who
Oh,
is
hold on.
the
We
third
gotta go
Hokage.
sequential here. So the
Yeah.
fourth Hokage, Naruto's dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is he related to them?
We don't know yet.
No, doesn't the Uzumakis come from the first guy?
So the Uzumaki clan is like a super OP clan that was wiped out, similar to how the Sharingan users were wiped out in the show.
But the wasn't the whole thing is like to achieve this certain level of Sharingan, you have to kill your clan? kind of
No.
thing?
Well,
So
that's
they
the
were planning to
evolved Sharingan.
overthrow the Leaf Village.
Yeah.
And they were going to run it.
Yeah.
And then the council, whatever they call the ninja council, found out about it,
Mhm.
and they were like, Itachi, go kill him.
Basically, they had a double agent.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
a actual Uchiha.
Was it Itachi was working for the Ambus at the time,
Yeah.
and they thought that Itachi was feeding them information because he was an Uchiha, but he
He was actually
a
working
double
for the
agent.
Leaf. And
Yeah.
he's like a genius ninja, and his whole thing was that like, for the best thing for the village would be to wipe out his whole
Yeah.
clan,
Okay.
because the clan was going to try and take over.
Take power. Right.
If it
Control
wasn't for
the Nine
his
Tails.
if it wasn't for his ninja aids, he would probably be the greatest ninja of all time.
Also, his dad Fugaku, who was the guy that was going to become the
Hokage.
leader or Hokage,
Yeah.
he, fun fact, let his son kill him. He said, "There's no point in having a blood match between father and son. I understand why you're doing this.
Oh shit.
And then
But he didn't actually understand.
Well, no, he did. He's like, I understand. He's like, I'm not mad at you. Or something like
I'm
that.
just disappointed.
Didn't say that. No, he's like, he literally, you see him
My
kneeling.
weakness.
Dude, it's such a iconic. You see him kneeling there and he's talking to Itachi behind him. Itachi's got his blade and he's crying. And he's like, it's okay, son. Don't hesitate or something.
Yeah.
He just lets him kill him.
But
Dude.
he then uses Genjutsu on Sasuke. So Sasuke remembers it like being more like bloody, doesn't like remember the like wholesome scene before.
And his
Okay.
girlfriend, Itachi had a girlfriend. He lets her live out 100 years with one of his jutsu. He uses a jutsu to make her experience 100 years pass. And then
Okay.
he kills her.
Here's
Don't even ask questions.
I
Don't
struggle
ask
so much with loose magic systems because they can like you get the cool.
To be fair, I think
arguably
you
the-
can only use this jutsu like sometimes. It's not
but
like
it's like if we think of magic systems from the scale of like soft to hard, right? Where like Lord of the Rings is on the very soft side. It's the rules aren't clearly defined.
Yeah.
And magic can it's
not OP.
more magical in that you don't know what could potentially be done or happen. And Naruto falls into that camp for me where yes, there are like steps to take to complete your jutsus and you can learn stuff, but it also the world, I feel like they could literally be like, I succeeded in learning the making a pie jutsu.
I would put it a bit higher because there is chakra levels and each person is born with a certain level of chakra.
For sure.
Which defines, how much they can do.
But
Yeah.
it still feels like there's just so much potential for whatever, right? All the different jutsus are just like, you can feasibly, any kind of jutsu could exist.
Yeah, but you can't learn any jutsu.
It depends on who you are as a
Yeah.
human.
You also have to
depends
have
on
a
your
certain
nature.
affinity for the element.
Yeah.
So
they are
talk to
locked
me.
off.
What element does helping someone live out 100 years belong
That's
to?
a Sharingan, baby.
That's just a Sharingan.
Which is basically given
Like,
from
no,
an
that's a
alien
that's a
species.
yeah, that's a bloodline ability.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And then there's certain what's the hand signs? Jutsu.
jutsus.
Which you have an affinity for, which means you can only
Because you have chakra natures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wind, fire, and you have
lightning, water,
Exactly.
But okay, so you have bloodline abilities, you have jutsus. What else do you have?
Then you
summonings.
Summonings,
which is
right?
Yeah. And then you have your
Then you have
eye abilities, is what I call them.
No, those are the bloodline abilities.
Yeah. So
That's-
there's different eyes.
Yeah, okay, so all of this.
There's a dude that can manipulate his bones into becoming whatever you want.
You guys are
That's a
making my
bloodline
point
ability.
for me. It just,
But
I think
only he
Naruto
has
is
it.
awesome. It's a cool as shit world. The problem being that feasibly there could just come along another human being with like, yeah, no, my special ability, my bloodline ability is to make anything I believe come true. And it's like, well, shit, eh?
Well,
I've read
that's
that
basically-
fan fiction.
Yeah, that's basically the protagonist.
That's, I'm saying I struggle with those kinds of things
Yeah.
because it's just like anything could feasibly happen.
But you
Whereas
would
then
argue
on the-
that point for like any
No,
anime.
Avatar. The elements, right? It's very clear. Let's ignore Korra for a second. because
Bloodbending?
Bloodbending is a very
subset.
clear like development of water.
And you have to
Okay.
be at a certain power level or expertise with your
Hmm.
waterbending to even achieve it.
So it's like the rules are very clear, and it makes it for me. I enjoy hard magic systems a lot more because
I get you. I get what
I
you're
just
saying.
like it. I know. I understand the rules of the world. I understand the rules of the magic systems, and it makes me feel. I don't know. Not like anything could fees. It's not like Aang just barring the stupid like spirit bending, which we only found out about at the very end of the show. Like the fact that in general they have to use ingenuity and their bending abilities in proper ways to get through difficult moments. It helps me enjoy the show more.
You know, each
Brando
their own.
Sando's
Each
magic
their
system.
own.
It's hard. Brando Sano is awesome, and I'm pretty much just quoting his lecture series when it comes to magic systems. Yeah.
I
So
think
there's
your
a
next
little
birthday
bit
I
of a
should sign you
bias.
up for his course.
Yeah, what's it? BYU. You're gonna sign me
Yeah.
up for a Christian university,
Yeah.
fly me out
Yeah.
there, help pay for my studies.
That
And
is,
then I'll never have to get you another birthday gift.
yeah, it's difficult to write a deep magic system.
It's for like hard magic
Very
systems. You
difficult.
got to be very clear and like it has its flaws.
And you
for
have to
sure.
like make sure you understand
yeah.
how it works, because then the flaws will, like, people will be able to point out the flaws and be like,
Exactly.
but you said
That's the
this,
thing, right?
and now they can do this. I can't believe it. Like,
Mhm.
I think that's when when we come to your books, your editors need to be there, being like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
this
did this
doesn't
before,
track.
and now you're doing this. Are you gonna? Is there an explanation, or are you just f***ing around?
true that, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a bit of a struggle bus, but jeepers, hey, we've been talking about Naruto here.
Love it.
What are we actually going to be talking about today? Kieran, can you inform us? What do you think we're talking about today?
So, I know why they're doing this. Okay, and I am chat's on my side.
we're not trying to trap you here.
So, we're gonna be talking about gaming news at the
Yes.
start of the month,
Yes.
which is April 6th. April Fools.
Today's actually April 1st.
Yeah, this is actually being
And-
filmed on April Fool's Day.
And what else are we going to be talking about? There's
and
one other thing.
That's one of the things.
Mhm.
That's a good question, Bjorn. I think I was going to throw it to Hushab.
You're going to throw it to Hushab?
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about gaming news from the past week and all the cool upcoming games for this month.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. So let's start by just looking at the news here. And Kieran, you're going to provide a couple good reactions. Let us know how you feel about things.
Okay.
But I'd actually like to kick it off with a bit of a throwback / how old we feel.
Okay. We're old.
I'm 21.
Pokemon Go
Hey.
is turning
Pokemon Go
8.
to the polls.
Pokemon Go has been around for almost a decade. It's turning 8 in, I think, June.
8.
And there was a interview with, I think, one of the lead developers of Niantic, who's the development
Yeah.
team, talking about how they still got all these massive plans and improvements coming. And I was just thinking to myself,
Get back into
I
it.
barely got into Pokemon Go. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it.
Were
off
you
the
not a
bat.
part of the craze when it
No,
was?
not at
you
all.
missed out. Such a
I
wholesome
was,
time.
But the thing is, the craze is still ongoing. There are still people that play Pokemon
Not
Go.
at the
So
same level.
not
as
the
it
same
was
level, but
the
apparently
hype.
their base is still growing. They're still
Yeah.
making money.
Yep.
And Niantic itself they have their own issues. They've been layoffs over the last couple of years. Last year they laid off 200 something people. The year before 80 people. And
Yeah.
slowly but surely they're dropping every other project besides Pokemon Go.
And
So I
they-
just wanted to hear your guys' experience of Pokemon Go, because I don't have one.
I can still remember when there was a Dragonite outside of UCT, one of the buildings at UCT,
Yeah.
and I caught the shit out of it.
You got
And there was 6 other people standing there just on their phones.
Okay.
Such a good time.
Did you enjoy it? But
Yeah, I remember feeling good. You go for a walk and you look at your phone, right? And you're catching Pokemon as you go. You're selling your Pidgeys for what's it called? CP.
Was it candies? Wasn't it candies?
Or something whatever you need to evolve them.
Yeah.
Um,
I found the system very weird that you would just keep catching more and more and more Pokemon until you had 500 in your item box.
and then
Yeah.
you could sell them or trade them off for CP
Yeah.
and then upgrade your dude
Yeah.
to get more CP, which is battle power or whatever.
I struggled with that system because I was like, oh, this doesn't feel like Pokemon.
Well,
Because I'm so used to the
yeah.
normal system of you catch a couple Pokemon,
then
you
you level
train
it.
them up normally.
It's not
But
like
with-
you were fighting. You could
Mm.
fight, but it's more like a gym thing, right? And I think
Yeah.
they have
Yeah,
one-on-one
gyms.
battles now that you can do.
At the hotspots in your city, there'd be a gym with each of the 3 teams you belong to.
Yeah.
There was the yellow one, the red one, the blue one. Can't remember their names.
Yeah.
I remember I did choose the yellow
I
one
think that's
because
what they were lightning.
no, it's
Thunder
Valo,
or something.
Mystic Valo or something. I chose the yellow one because everybody
Me
was
too.
choosing red and blue, and I was like, I'm gonna be the leader for the yellow. I'm gonna rally
Yeah.
them.
We're gonna
Okay.
be
It
cool.
was so hard to hold down
'Cause no
a
one had
gym as
gym.
the yellow if you're part of the yellow team.
You can, you have yellow, blue, and red. You had Instinct, which is yellow, Mystic, which is blue, and Valor, which is red.
Yeah, I remember 2 out of 3.
But I mean, it really was a craze because at one point, there were events.
Dude, I
Even
remember
here,
seeing videos in New York where people were swarming, and
Yeah.
there were issues of people getting trampled and injured.
Dude, and
because
car
people would
accidents.
swarm certain areas.
Yeah,
and
whenever there was a
stuff.
Pokemon that popped
Yeah.
up that everybody wanted.
I used to go
Good
driving
times.
around.
Driving around.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
used to
supposed to.
drive-
That's
I know-
cheating.
I know you're
You're
not supposed to.
cheating.
I used to drive and catch Pokemon while I was.
0 car crashes.
It gives the
This
same
is-
vibe as someone taking their dog for a walk, but just holding the leash out the window. It's
Or
like,
even better, when you're being driven around, then you take out Pokemon Go and you catch some pokes.
but I think they capped the speed, right? If you went above
Yeah.
a certain
Yeah.
speed, they'd be like, oh, this person's
So
driving.
it wouldn't count for movement, but you
Yeah.
could still see pokes. And you could if you
Okay.
click on
You
them
could
fast
go-
enough, I just spat everywhere.
Yeah.
If you click on them fast enough, you can catch them.
Okay.
And then
But well, you
before
were
they go
there at
out
the
of your
beginning then,
radius.
right? You were in the craze for a bit and then fell off not long after.
I played for a while.
For a while, like a
Yeah,
year?
like a couple of years.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay. You, Hushaf?
But on and off.
I was on the craze. Then when the craze died down, I left because I had other things. I had a life. But they were really big communities. Well, at least around Cape Town that got built out because of Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
People made like WhatsApp groups specifically for Pokemon Go where it would just be kind of like, Discord type vibes or alerts, be like, this Pokemon's here, this event's happening there, I need this, can somebody trade with me that? And it was very cool.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people made like new friends, communities were built. I think it really strengthened the Pokemon community in Cape Town, which is much bigger, I think, post Pokemon Go than it was before.
Okay.
I think like the game is a collecting game. The game is designed for you to find every Pokemon. Like you want to get them all.
Well, I mean,
they
like,
started
at the
with-
time we only had Gen 1 Pokemon.
They started with 151 and they've
Yeah.
pretty much introduced every generation so far.
Really?
Right?
I thought they were missing the latest
And they
gen.
had,
right?
Okay,
uh,
well, not the latest.
At one
but,
stage they had like you can only get this Pokemon in this country. I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
So
like that.
essentially region locking, or they also, well, the big thing being like you could only catch certain Pokemon when you are in an environment that would produce that Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you would only get a Golduck if you were near a body of water of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is really cool. I think that's a very cool aspect. I don't know if it's still in. Do you guys?
no idea. I haven't touched Pokemon Go since 2015.
Oh, jeepers. No, it came out in 2016, so that's physically
So
impossible.
2017?
2017.
If you go to the
2016.
beach,
Sorry?
if you go to the beach and you take out Pokemon Go,
Yeah.
Magikarp, and it's
Gyarados
all
is-
it's locked to water types.
I find that awesome. I love the idea of it being like an augmented reality thing.
Mm.
I know that they've over the years implemented more interesting backgrounds and like it will actually reflect the environment around you a bit better when you
Yeah.
go to catch a Pokemon, whereas it used to be very generic.
Yeah.
Pokemon battles.
It used to just be like one screen for everything.
Yeah,
like one
but it's
grass.
very cool. I know that there's lots of like microtransactions. I think that's probably why it's Niantic's still like biggest moneymaker, because there is an established fan base. There are so many in-app purchases.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad. But I like reading through that one developer's chat. He just seems so passionate about it and so keen on the idea of a like real world Pokemon that I was marginally close to downloading it.
Yeah, it's just it gets like you go on and off it. So
Mm.
like sometimes it's fun to battle a gym and take a hold of a gym for Team Yellow or whatever. But then the next hour or two, someone
Someone
already
else will
taken
come,
your
yeah.
gym.
I think
You've earned like 1 gold coin.
sooner or later we'll see another renaissance.
Yeah.
The same way like Minecraft has always been around, and every now and then it just pops
Mm.
off again.
What was
I-
it like? Dream and them. They were like at
Yeah.
the height of it.
So I feel like,
I would
yeah, Dream and them.
I can see that happening. I would love for there to be like AI trainers that as you're going around like
Why would you not want to battle real people, man?
well yeah, you can do that
No, but
too,
that's super reliant on it being a multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't like if you're like,
Like-
I don't know, camping in a desert and for some reason you don't want to look at wildlife, you want to play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if there just happened to be like 3 AI driven trainers around you.
And they just like
Alright.
chilling.
Yeah, and it would make it feel more like the Pokemon games. That
Like
we've
if you're in
grown
a
up with.
forest, there's bug catcher dudes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that'd be so
cool.
sick. I hate bug catchers.
Oh, man.
Useless trainers.
Such nerds. Who? Oh, man.
6 Caterpies coming at you. dude, you think the first one didn't
Alright,
work? The
I
other
got
5
a
we're gonna do
question a
something.
little bit off topic. No, it's on topic. What's your favorite bug Pokemon?
Favorite bug Pokemon?
Volcarano.
Don't know that one. Sounds cool.
Volk. How do I spell that?
VOL
I don't know why I started with C. VOL
CA
CA
Rano.
RO Rona. Volcarona.
Corona.
Oh, dude, that looks sick.
Yeah.
You know
Kieran,
what? It's okay.
You're gonna leave it up to the
Based on
imagination.
your response there.
Starts off as a larvae. Larvae. That's the name of its first form. Highest level to evolve for a bug Pokemon at level 40.
Damn.
Jeepers.
Yeah,
Is there? Sorry. Is it
it's-
one evolution or
One only has one.
Oh,
Yeah.
easy. Scyther. Done.
Yeah, Scyther
is so sick,
epic.
dude. Scyther is so cool.
I was gonna say Beedrill, which is a bit, I guess, a generic choice, but I do like Beedrill's design. But Scyther is a good shout. I
Yeah,
like
Scyther is phenomenal. I don't know the later generations, unfortunately, but there are a lot of cool ones. Butterfree
Ariados
was like
from
a
Gen 2,
staple.
It's pretty cool.
Heracross as well.
Heracross.
Ooh, Mega Heracross is really good.
Like Mega and stuff. Once again, I don't
Well,
know
I mean,
them.
Megas are coming back for the new Pokemon game.
Okay.
The one that's the sequel
'Cause
to Legends Arceus
You said you liked Mega versus like the
versus Dynamaxing. I mean, well, G-maxing, Dynamaxing. Yeah. This is like a lot of in the online community for competitive. There's always been a big argument because Dynamaxing or G-maxing, any of your Pokemon can do it. Where Mega Evolving, there was only around 30 Pokemon that can.
Okay.
So when you'd see a team, you'd be like, okay, these are my potential Pokemon who are going to Mega Max on the opponent's team. So I need to now plan around that.
Which is okay. That's a bit more strategy versus
Yeah.
any one of them can. Because then you
Can
have
do
to
it.
plan counter strategies for
Yeah.
everything. That's a bit too much.
I don't like either of those two mechanics. I would have liked a fourth evolution form rather.
Because it does. I don't know why necessarily, but doing Mega Evolutions and Dynamaxing and stuff doesn't feel like when you think of Pokemon as animals or just creatures that naturally form part of the world. Dynamaxing stuff doesn't necessarily make sense to me as like being part of the world.
It's more of a battle mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And,
I also never used like X attacks and stuff because I'm a bit of a purist. Z moves.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
They were cool, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, sorry, back to topic.
Staying close on to Pokemon news, Nintendo also DMCA'd Relic Castle.
What is Relic Castle?
So if those you don't know, Relic Castle was probably the biggest hub online for Pokemon mods. And for anybody looking to get into Pokemon mods and learn, there was a bunch of learning resources on there. And it was going to be, by next month, it would have been the 10th anniversary of Relic Castle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Nintendo finally got their way, got them DMCA'd, which is so weird because so many other gaming communities would love to have the modding community that we have in Pokemon. But Nintendo and Game Freak like spit on us.
Which
and
I
see
don't,
us as so much like disrespect.
Purists.
It's all
Like
done.
I've never made it, but I play them. But the community has really kept the love for Pokemon alive, much more than I think Nintendo has outside of their merchandising, because they've offered new ways to play Pokemon that Nintendo and Game Freak have not offered us.
And for the most part, it's free. Right?
It's free, yeah.
You can
no one's
obviously-
making money off it.
You can offer to, I think, like with mods in other games, like for instance Skyrim or any not Elder Scrolls, Bethesda game, you get like part of your purchase is the creation kit, or sometimes you purchase it separately. But they encourage mod making for their broken ass games, but the mod authors it's free. Like Nexus mods, everything is free. The Steam Workshop, everything is free, and you can choose to donate to the people, but that's entirely separate. You're just appreciating like an artist at doing their work. And I find it so unnecessary of Nintendo to be like, no, we do not support people like appreciating our work and wanting to like make something new out of it for free.
It's a control thing, but it's also like they're probably like associating that with sales not being as good as they could.
Yeah, which is weird.
Which is like, make a good open world Pokemon game and then people will buy it.
I don't know. So what does the future hold then? Are there other places
there
where...
are other communities. The Discord for Relic Castle is still going strong, so a lot of the resources have been moved onto there.
Mm-hmm.
But sooner rather than later, I'm sure another community will pop up. They'll be a bit more careful. I don't know how. Not gonna say any names just in case Nintendo's watching.
Just the Nintendo execs just deeply listening to our podcast.
Do you think
they're spreading this?
Do you think it's like a culture thing for Nintendo, that the way they DMCA or like everyone, like I know we've talked about this before, but it was a real struggle for a lot of people to play like Mario Kart or other Nintendo games on YouTube, because they were just getting DMCA left, right, and center.
I don't know, because people make art, like people make 2D fan art and sell it online as prints and stuff, without
getting
DMCA'd. Maybe some do, but there's way too much. Maybe it's big, like maybe it's a thing of got too big and now we cut them down.
But it's easier to track it on like a YouTube video than finding people doing 2D prints of your art.
Because YouTube has the built-in system.
Do they get any financial value out of stopping? Obviously,
the potential. The one
DMCA.
argument I could think of is like, oh, people are doing this instead of buying from us. But even
Yeah, people are like
then-
watching
Right, that's
someone
what I
play a
was just
game
saying.
instead of going
Yeah.
out and playing and getting the game themselves.
That's the one potential argument, but I also I feel like it's just good, like it's free advertising. Someone playing your game or making mods or making art or whatever of your IP in general is just free marketing. If people are loving your stuff enough to make their own version of it or to use it in their art, it is like it's just pushing your IP
Your
to
brand,
more
yeah.
people. So
Which Pokemon doesn't really need.
oh yeah,
In a way.
to be fair,
It's like a
What was it?
cultural like thing. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone knows
worldwide.
Pokemon.
You can show anybody a Pikachu, they'll know what it is.
They're a rat with shit on their tail.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for as like
Pokemon modding,
and
yeah.
Pokemon modding especially. But a bit of a RIP day, like a bit of a
Mm.
sad one. That being said, switching a bit hard away from Pokemon.
Switch.
There was a recent what's it called? Not is it an investors call? What are those calls when game studios have a big chat with their investors? Does it have a specific name?
Investor call.
Investor call. Okay, there was an investor call for cdprojekt Red
Nice.
recently.
What
Ooh,
happened?
what are we getting?
So Witcher 4, out of all their games, Witcher 4 is the furthest along in terms of the games that they are currently building.
When did Witcher 3
That's
come out?
dope.
Kieran, Witcher 3 came out?
20. I want to say 2010.
No ways it was 2010.
No, there's
10 years
no
ago.
way in no way in shit. It came out
Someone
before.
Sorry,
Someone Google it.
You have.
I got my phone.
I actually have my
No,
laptop
sorry,
here.
no, carry on telling us. I'll check it out.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna check it out.
So they had an investors call. Let me just open the thing here because I don't want to.
Let me just give a guess to see how close I get. 2016.
2015.
Yo. Basically the same thing.
2011 is when Witcher 2 came out.
Okay. Well, I was off. Okay, a little off.
Okay, so in
all
this
make
investor call, we found out that The Witcher 4, out of the games they are developing, which includes a sequel for Cyberpunk,
Okay.
and a couple of other games, Witcher 4 is the furthest along, but it hasn't entered proper production yet. They're still in pre-production kind of stages. The one piece of information we did get is that it is not going to just be a reskin of Witcher 3, arguably their most popular title to date. It's going to be its own thing. The same way, because Kieran, you played the shit out of Witcher 3. I've played
And Witcher 1.
Witcher 1, and I've played a bit of Witcher 2,
Witcher 2, yeah.
and I've seen lots of people playing Witcher 3. The gameplay changes a lot. Yes, it's still Geralt. Yes, it's still the same world, but like the actual way that you interact with the world has like changes so much each title
Yeah.
that I understand how they say like they're not just going to take all the mechanics of Witcher 3, make it prettier, and then make a Witcher 4. They're going to try and like innovate as
yeah.
they've done with every previous title. For
I
I don't know,
wonder-
Chef, do you know anything about the earlier Witchers?
No, they literally are all sitting on my shelf.
Okay,
waiting
so
to be played.
the first Witcher, just Kieran and I have talked about
It's
this a lot
it's
before.
hardcore.
It's so difficult, and it's also, I think Witcher 3 was done quite well, especially for console, because you have all the buttons there within your hands. But playing Witcher 1, you have to press so many buttons for different like sword stances and so many different like items and magical
Yep.
abilities.
Does it lend
There's-
itself more for a keyboard and mouse type
it
game?
does,
It
but
is,
even then
yeah.
it's painful.
And it's like click, click, click combo.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's so much, and then they refined it, but also changed things in the second Witcher, which was also just like a bit of a mess to like maneuver around. But then Witcher
Yeah.
3 streamlined it. So
They
I think
definitely streamlined it in 3.
yeah, but then I wonder if now they're gonna like go back to their roots and just make it a shit show of so much different like clicking and button pushing.
I would love for it to go back to a bit more old school difficulty.
Okay.
Because 3 wasn't as hard as 1. 1
You
was...
could make it difficult. I
You could,
guess.
yeah. But I'm saying like 1 was hard regardless of the controls.
Yeah.
It was a tough game.
It was, dude.
Like you could get one-shotted and
Mhm.
you had to have potions to get through things.
Yeah.
Whereas 3, you could like sword through everything basically.
Okay.
Like, but I would like to have a return to that sort of more hardcore style, and then maybe give me like a Soulsy like roll, or like a dodge, or make it Dark Souls.
Well, doesn't
The
Witcher
Witcher.
3 have the dodge roll?
They do have the dodge roll, but it's way more forgiving, I want to say,
Okay.
than like a Souls version.
Oh, because I remember people when Elden Ring came out, they would like show themselves fighting against someone with a spear, and the spear would be like within an inch of their character's body, and it still wouldn't count as a hit.
Yeah.
Because the hitboxes were done so cleanly in Elden Ring.
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. They have a role, so they have like a Soulsy role. But what do you think they're gonna add?
Is it like an impervious role kind of thing, where no matter if you get hit or not, it's like it doesn't count as being hit because you're in your dodge roll motion?
I think as long as you time it, there's still timing to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But so there's not a crazy amount of news. Just that Witcher 3 is in the works. Cyberpunk, which
You mean Witcher 4 is in the works?
sorry, Witcher 4 is in the works. Cyberpunk
Just
also the sequels in pre-production.
talk to me about Witcher's 3 ending. Did it lend itself to there's going to be a 4, or
Kieran?
what do you think plot-wise?
Me, I gotta remember how it ends. Well, they defeat the wild hunt comes along, and they're like.
But then you also had DLCs, right? Like Blood and Wine and stuff. Did that add to it?
Blood and Wine was like vampires.
Okay,
And
entirely
then-
different like side quests.
I think it did add to it, but I'm not too keyed out on Blood and Wine and the expansions.
Okay.
So do you think
Yeah.
for 4 it will be a following on, or do you think 4 would be like akin to God of War 4 when they just reset the world completely?
I think it will be a continuation of the in-world sort of plot.
It doesn't make sense not to do that
Yeah.
because every game so far has continued.
That's what I'm saying. But did the end of 3 reach?
I don't know. I didn't-
to the
I
end
didn't
You know
of
what?
get to
I don't
3.
even know how to answer that question.
Okay.
I have played it. I finished the game. I can't remember everything from when I played it in 2015,
16.
16.
No, 15. You're right. Yeah.
April
Fools! Hey!
But I just love I love the game. I'm a big fan. That's all I have to say. Big fan.
Yeah. Hushef, what's the next piece of news if you got anything?
No news from my side. I did fall for a bunch of April Fool's news. I don't know about you guys.
Sorry, Kieran's
just signaling
throwing up
off camera.
gang signs in the background. dude.
32.
So you went online during April Fool's. You're just trying to avoid it.
I saw a couple things. I think I went on my anime list and they had a bunch of Shrek pictures over.
I saw that. Yeah.
But that's about it. I didn't even think it was April Fool's. I was like, oh, this is weird.
No, I've learned to be very good on April Fool's Day because usually when it comes to like anime, there's a lot of like No Game No Life season 2 is being released or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hate those. I think there was only 2 bits of like news I fell for. One was some reports saying that Oda said that at the end of January 2025 will be the end of One Piece. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it's ending.
But the man said when they hit episode like 1,000, he was like, yeah, and I've got about the same amount of time left.
No, so I think it was maybe 4 years ago. He was like, we have now reached the halfway point of One Piece.
Actually, yeah, maybe around episode 750 or something.
I'm thinking chapters. Yeah, I don't
Well, I
really
mean,
know.
good for him, Get your money, King.
I mean, One Piece has its sales has been falling, but it's DJ Khaled meme like suffering from success
Yeah.
because it's so large now and it takes a lot to get into that it's daunting for new fans.
Exactly.
Also,
That's
you
how I
can
feel.
only grow so much. Like I feel like potentially they've tapped the entire market of who could possibly watch One Piece at this point. I know there's memes online and TikTok of like, I'm never gonna watch One Piece, and then like 2 weeks later, like,
Yeah.
let me explain to you why this is the best arc and like everything that going into it.
I'm pretty sure like I'm the target audience for someone who would watch 1,000 whatever episodes.
1,200,
Well,
1,150. What's the?
we're like 1,000.
But now that they've got live action, I
They
might
have
just
the
watch
live
the live
action,
action and then
they have the remake,
and they've got the
catch up.
remake coming out soon. Well, not soon. I think next year.
They're remaking.
So it's gonna
streamlined
be.
though.
Are you familiar
Okay.
with like Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Yeah. No.
So
Only
Dragon
with
Ball Z
the-
Kai was a retelling of Dragon Ball Z, but like cutting out all the unnecessary
Filler.
like filler and
Yeah.
stuff. So it got it down. It's much more quicker pace than the original Dragon Ball Z, and it makes it for a much like better watch. And I envision that's what they're gonna do with One Piece also. Cut out all the filler, make it more snappier, update the animation to.
Okay,
was
that's
it
fine.
Studio
that's
Studio
fine.
Vit is doing it.
But if they're
Studio
gonna
Wits.
do,
Studio and
I think-
Cloverworks together or something.
Yeah, it was 2 studios
Yeah.
together. Between the two of them, I think they're gonna.
I was just
produce
thinking, like,
something really
let the guy finish his work before you.
pretty. It's
start
not like they're gonna
redoing
catch
it.
up
No, I
anytime
know, but
soon.
still.
Bear in mind though, like One Piece started airing in 1992 or some crazy shit like that. 1999, sorry. So 25
It's been a
years.
while, yeah.
I feel like that's most shows would have gotten 3 remakes in that amount of time.
Also, when
Like-
was the point that One Piece became like blowing up? When did that happen?
Well, it's always been huge in Japan. I think of the big 3, I think One Piece was when the big 3 were blowing up in Western audiences. The One Piece was definitely number 3. But I think over the years and its consistency, it's jumped to number 1 out of the big
Right, because
3.
Naruto finished.
But definitely at the time when the big 3 were popping off in Western culture, it was
Okay.
between Bleach and Naruto.
Okay.
But One Piece's staying ability has really helped it over the years.
Okay,
Dude,
so
I want to get into it, but that's a lot.
I just want to do I think I want to do the manga. I do have the omnibus for 1, 2, and 3 up there.
Do you think there's an abridged version? There is a.
Read the manga.
One-
Genuinely
There
Kieran,
is a
read the manga.
yeah, but there is a fan made like cut of One Piece that cuts out all the filler
Okay.
and makes it like much more snappier.
I'll go check that out.
But okay, yeah. So it is Wit Studio, distributed by Netflix. Which
Nice.
once again, as always,
I don't know, Netflix Dungeon Meshi?
Dungeon Meshi is actually really. Have you
is
watched
really
it?
good. It's really good. Distributed by Netflix, so you know they do
fair
know what
enough.
they're doing.
Also, Violet Evergarden a
Ah,
couple years back was
the thing that
distributed by
makes me cry
Netflix.
all the time.
This is a whole separate conversation about Netflix and anime, but they have some bangers, some flops. Definitely worth checking out. Like when it does come out, there's no release date as of yet,
Yeah.
but when it does happen,
No, I mean
could be
like
very
no
cool.
rush. It's not like we don't have any other content. But anyways, moving along.
So the last piece of news that I have, I don't know if you guys knew, I didn't know. There's an Among Us animated series coming.
Among Us.
They got announced a while ago.
When you say animated, you mean anime or like cartoon?
Cartoon. As far as I'm aware, it is a
What?
cartoon
Are
series.
each of the colors gonna have their own distinct characteristics?
Is
It-
it gonna,
dude,
is it gonna
it
be
is-
like what's that Squid Game sort of thing?
Are you sure this wasn't April Fool's you fell for?
No, this is announced. They have a cast and everything.
Anybody we know?
Yes, it is star-studded. Like,
Is it
also-
gonna be like a murder mystery vibe?
Yeah,
right?
apparently, because the synopsis for the show is just the same synopsis that they have for the game of like, one of you guys, you're out in space, and one of you is an alien imposter.
If I don't hear the word
Fuck.
sussy baka, I'm gonna be very upset.
For instance, so all the characters are just named after the colors. So
Yeah.
blue, cyan, black, purple, red, green, orange, and then white or whatever. Elijah Wood is in this.
Elijah Wood loves voicing.
Frodo.
Okay. Ashley Johnson from Critical
Hey.
Role fame.
Hey.
That's sick.
Okay.
Please stop bullying
shout
her,
out.
you fucking idiots.
Who? Who's bullying?
The Last of Us 2 fans because of the character she voiced.
Oh my gosh. Patton Oswalt, if you guys know
I
who
love
that is.
Patton Oswalt. He's so funny.
Did you see the Comic-Con panel that he voiced, where he was the host though for what's the Netflix series that with the kids and the alien and
Umbrella Academy.
no, it was massive. When 11 is the
Oh,
main
shit.
character.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. There was a Stranger Things panel at Comic-Con where Patton Oswalt was the host, and then Finn Wolfhard came. Like Patton Oswalt announced him, and Finn is still underage, I think. How old is Finn Wolfhard?
Must be 16 or
I have
17 right
no
now.
idea.
Surely he's 18. Regardless, he was like 15 or something at the time, and Patton Oswalt welcomes him on stage by saying, "And now the person with the best porn star name you've ever met, Finn
That's
Wolfhard."
fucked
And
up,
then
dude.
and I think like that's for a kid.
Yeah, that's. A 15
And then you
year old.
had who
He's
played-
21 right now.
21 right now. There's a guy that acts like an older brother to the kids on Stranger Things.
There's 2 now. There's Eddie from the latest season, and the one before was Steve.
There's one who they always make the comparison to Ben Schwartz.
Steve.
Steve, okay, him, and who plays the like 11's dad?
Oh, I know. I can see the actor in my head. He was also in. He was the Russian dad in.
I
In
don't.
Black Widow?
I know they call
But
him
yeah,
Papa.
I'll get his name now. But
Okay.
carry on.
So then you just like because they were already on stage, and you can see them just like staring at Patton Oswalt like they're
What-
gonna kill him,
dude.
just like essentially saying, "What the fuck?" Like he's a kid. Why would you be like this is person with the biggest-"
Inappropriate.
I'll see if I can find the clip and show you guys later. But it's that's the one mark
David
I have
Harbour.
against him. David Arbor. There we go. Oh, dude, have you seen his apartment? Because Architectural Digest do those walkthroughs of people's apartments.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's in New York. So big, so lovely. Got like some sort of steampunky vibes as well. Lots of
Nice.
plants. So lovely. But yeah, Patton Oswalt is gonna be in Among
He's
Us.
always in like these really like cool like funny little things and roles that
Yeah.
he gives his all to. I don't know if you know the story when he was in Parks and Rec.
Who was he in Parks and Rec?
He was only there for one episode. It's for the Boston Tea Party, but there was a mistake. It was the TED Party, and every year the community, I can't remember what the Parks and Rec town was called. They throw Ted into the lake or the ocean or whatever, and he's the only guy in the city called Ted. So every year they throw him in, and he basically filibusters because he wants it to stop.
Okay, so he plays a lot of like extra
Yeah,
roles.
but
I know
like-
he was in.
So when he's filibustering, he starts like talking about how he wants to combine the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe. And this was just him talking, and the directors never yelled cut. They was like, let's just see how long he goes for.
Sure.
Not Community. Sorry, Parks and Rec has honestly some of the funniest actors ever.
The thing, if you go back and watch, they had so many people who are like coming up in the comedy scene who are now like huge right now.
Yeah.
Like they really found like their talent.
For sure. Okay.
Well,
but
who are the other actors?
Oh, mother.
Oh, you already closed it.
I
Control
clo-
Shift T.
Wait, what?
Control
Shift T.
Shift T. That's crazy powerful what you just showed him.
Dude, I'm hyperventilating.
How
So
many times
I don't
have you-
recognize all the names. So we have Deborah Wilson, Patton Oswalt, Phil Lamar,
Oh, Phil
Wayne
Lamar.
Knight.
Phil
Look,
Lamar
they
does a
are-
lot of voicing for like Futurama and The
okay.
Simpsons.
So that's the
And
most
Wayne Knight.
recently announced one.
Love Wayne Knight. He probably his best known role was in Toy Story 2. He voices the collector.
Oh.
Also, obviously, Jurassic Park. He's the guy who was trying to sell the DNA, but then gets eaten by the creature that like fans out his thing.
Oh, okay.
You remember-
Yeah, I know exactly.
When
Okay.
Samuel L.
Right.
Jackson's trying in the system, he's like,
So they are the most recently announced
Oh,
actors
that's such
to join.
a deep throwback.
Then
I love that movie.
You have Dan Stevens. You have Kimiko Glenn, Liv Hewson, like I said earlier, Ashley Johnson, Randall Park, Elijah Wood, Yvette Nicole Brown.
Yeah.
Yvette Nicole
yeah,
from Community.
Community
And
fan, yeah.
many other things. But yeah, so that's like they've fully announced the cast now for Among Us. I have no idea
What they're
how
gonna
you
do.
could turn this into a serialized show unless it's just like a kid's murder mystery.
Was it Netflix, Amazon?
Now you're
Any
asking
idea who?
tough to answer questions. Let me have a look over here. Creator
This feels like
Owen
something Amazon
Dennis
would pick up.
stars.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing much in the way of
Maybe it's not linked with a distributor yet.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We will see if that ends up, but it's not going to come soon, considering they just announced the last of the cast. Production companies: CBS, iAnimation Productions, CBS Studios.
Oh, so it's gonna be CBS.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's the
Yeah.
last piece of news from my side. Anything more on your side?
No,
Rishabh?
I'm good on my side.
Among
which
Us is
game?
basically like Alien, the movie.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
But I mean, like, there's nobody.
in that they're in space and there's.
But there's also
I think the
technically-
similarities are.
There's a shapeshifter. I mean, like where Alien was chest
it's a
busting
shape-
and an
yeah.
actual creature.
Okay.
And there's also generally like a couple of people. Oh, no,
I really hope for like the series, like they don't show us who the imposter is from the beginning, and like we're living it the same as the characters.
That's how it has to be. Yeah.
Okay.
It has to
But yeah, we can guess all we want, but who knows?
Yeah.
Then we can move on to the next section, which is this is probably going to be uploaded around the third point, like a third of April. So some of these games already have come out, but we're going to just talk about a couple of games that we noticed that are coming out during the month of April. Starting with you, Hujaf, what game or games do you want to really highlight right now?
Let me take a look at my notes.
Okay, well,
I think the first one is Children of the Sun.
Okay, so I saw it. I saw the key art. I didn't actually go in and watch the trailer.
So initially when I saw it, I thought it was going to be like Elite Sniper, because you are this woman who is trying to hunt down a cult.
Yeah.
And she's got a sniper rifle and she's just shooting motherfuckers left and right.
Okay.
But it's more of it's a puzzle game. You only get one shot, and you've got to position yourself basically like on the map and shoot at somebody. And it's kind of like a magical bullet type thing. Like as soon as that bullet hits somebody, from there you can then, from where you hit that person, you can then reposition again and shoot the next person.
Okay.
And so the puzzle element is when the bullet hits, the people around can react and start moving. So sometimes they're going to be going for cover or whatever. So you got to make sure that where you're starting off and the first person you're shooting has a good vantage point to get to the next person, because maybe there's somebody in a room and you need to be able to position yourself where that second to last person you shoot is by a window. So when you aim for the next one, you can get the person inside the house.
Okay.
So it's a great like puzzle element, kind of like Portal-esque, where you have
Wait, is this the one where you become the bullet?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, I got you. I'm up to date now. Thank you.
So it's Portal-esque, where like you first going to spend quite a bit of time studying the map and surroundings. Be like, where's going to be the best place to start off? Who do I need to go to next? And I mean, that's really cool to me.
Yeah.
Also, like
That
visually,
sounds
it's like, it's very like the tone. It uses very like dark tones in the stylization. Very
Lots of
cartoon-
reds, lots of purples, lots
Yeah.
of blues.
which is very cool. It really like sets it up for being like you're an elite agent coming in at the dead of night to take out some other.
Awesome. The release date is the 9th of April, so by the time this releases, it'll
It should
be
be
out.
out. I was gonna say there's a demo, but you can you can play the full thing now.
I'm sure you can still play the demo if you don't want to, if you're not sure if you
Yeah.
want to buy the full
Plus,
game.
you know, Steam allows if you play a game for under 3 hours or whatever, you can still return it and get your money back.
Oh, okay, cool. So then from my side, the first one I want to talk about, I don't know if we can call it a game. It is called Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. So of course everyone here
Whoa.
knows Lo-Fi Girl, the famous. So the YouTube channel used to be called Chilled Cow back in the day.
Chilled cow.
Eventually became Lo-Fi Girl, who's had that 24-hour stream going for years, except for that one time where a random, I think Indonesian music company dmca'd them like 500 times in a single day and got them taken down.
There was also the special when the one light in the background turned on, and people like, and she left her little study, and we could only see that light in the background. And then people were like, "What's happening?" And then we were introduced to Lo-Fi Boy.
Oh, okay. So with Spirit City, right? This game is all about, well, not even a game. Basically, the premise is you launch it, and it is Lo-Fi Girl in like a 3D-ish room, or a character of your creation in this 3D room. You get to choose a companion, some sort of familiar to sit with you. You link it to, or you can, there's playlists within this thing that you can, you know, listen to lo-fi music. There's daily planners, there's habit trackers, whatever. It's almost gamifying admin and productivity, which looks very cool, looks very cute. I don't know its application. For instance, if you work on your computer, obviously you can't just have that running and then you need to go to the internet or whatever other apps you need to do your job. But I think if you are about to sit down and study from a book, or do some writing or some drawing traditionally, could be quite cool just to put that up there, because then you don't want to leave the like game to go to your browser to watch YouTube or whatever. It's like, for me, it would be a good barrier if I'm doing something on like pen and paper.
So it's also a bit of a day planner the way you can do
exactly.
Yeah, daily plan.
But it's gamified it a bit, which is cool. And the
That's
more
very
time you
interesting.
spend within it, the more like your points rack up, and you can use that to, I guess, purchase customizable items or whatever.
Is it like doing a bunch of things on a list?
Yeah. Well,
Ticking off a list of things.
you can make a to-do list inside of this game, and you can make your daily planner and your habit tracker. It's pretty much just like, think of it as a animated background to have up on your PC while you're doing stuff.
That makes sense.
Which is quite cool. Just, I don't know, not really a game, but it's very, I like the idea a lot, and it looks very pretty. So yeah, that's my first one.
Nice. I think my next one is gonna be Sandland.
Oh, okay.
Which
So
is
from
Akira Toriyama.
yes,
I think it was the first manga he did after Dragon Ball Z.
the anime also got released on, is it Netflix?
Really?
There's an anime that got released recently, like a couple days ago. You don't know?
Called
Okay.
Sandland.
Yeah, it's the same IP. The game and the anime got released.
Wow,
at
the same time. Nice tie. Nice job, guys. But yeah, it's an action RPG. It's open world. It's mainly vehicle gameplay. You can like design your own like tanks or Gundam type things to go around the planet. And basically the plot is this planet that you're on has been going through a severe drought for like years and years and years. And there's something called I think it's called the Dream Spring or something spring. And you and your crew are going out to try and find the spring to return water to the planet. And you play as the character, his name is Beelzebub. And basically also part of the story is him learning to use his powers. And then at a certain point, it's also a bit of a beat him up because then he can just by himself just get out of his like tank or whatever vehicle you're playing and start like beating up mother.
It very much has Mad Maxy kind of world vibes.
It's actually I would say it's more if you want like a game for it. It's like Borderlands when they go out in their vehicles.
Right, and art style wise, like the characters look like Dragon Ball characters.
Yes,
very pretty. The original story was from 2000. It was a, like limited run kind of story, and the anime. So there was a movie a couple years back or last year, but the anime was released on the 20th of March this year by Disney.
If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you will recognize some of the vehicles they use because some of them are like the little capsule things that Bulma used to make for them.
Oh, yeah, so cool. But yeah, I saw a lot about the game because obviously it also it's now been released a couple weeks after the death of Akira Toriyama. So there's just been I think a lot more I guess like attention on it as a result.
Yeah.
Because people are like, really this is like more of his legacy to enjoy.
There's also a base building element to it.
Oh, for real? I wasn't aware of that.
You'll get like you'll unlock like this little like town which is like nothing there. You'll build it up, and then as you rescue people across the desert, they can come and live in your town, and then you have to manage those resources also.
I gotta be honest, you didn't have me, and now you have me. I love myself some base building.
Town.
And was it Assassin's Creed 3? No, it's in Assassin's Creed 2, one of the expansions. I think Brotherhood, you had like a base where you could collect assassins, and then you'd have like a bit of tactical warfare stuff with your assassins. That was my favorite part of the game.
I think Brotherhood and the one with the twins did that both really well. What was the twins one?
Syndicate?
I think it was Syndicate, yeah.
No, Unity. Anyway.
They all start to blend together after a while.
So that was Sandland.
Yeah, that comes out on April 25th across all platforms.
Awesome. Now, an Afrocentric game, actually. It is a... What do you call this? A Metroidvania? Yeah, nice. It is called Tales of Kenzera. Zao. It is based off of a lot of different Bantu cultures, right? And stories and stuff. Platforming, sideways jumping, lots of different powers, storyline, looks very pretty. I'm just excited for a story that is Afrocentric.
Yeah.
But also like has a lot of its fantasy elements and just... I don't know, it just seems pretty and the gameplay looks fun and the powers look interesting.
Really interesting. The story is Zao's dad has passed away and it's him dealing with his grief by trying to go to the underworld, whatever the underworld's called in their mythology, to kind of rescue his dad and bring him back. But it's more of a story of him dealing with his grief. Okay,
that's awesome. This is so cool. I'm
also excited that it's another African character that doesn't have the usual haircut that all game studios seem to be giving black characters. The dreadlock undercut top knot with the blonde tips at the end.
Because it was in
Fortnite.
It was in Fortnite. It was
Valorant.
in Valorant. It was in what was the TV show?
Overwatch.
The League of Legends TV show. What's it called?
Arcane.
What was the character's name actually? The butterfly guy.
No, he's the one with the time who can do the time stopping thing.
Yeah. It seemed. Oh, what's it? Warmonger from the Black Panther show.
Yeah.
All of them have the same haircut. I was like, well, jeepers,
guys,
there's more than one haircut for black people.
But yeah, it's very cool that we're getting a game that's delving into other mythology than the traditional mythology that we're usually used to seeing, Greek and Norse. I hope more gaming studios, movies, TV series, take a look at other mythologies, and there's so many stories you can tell.
Yeah, awesome. So that is releasing on the 23rd of April. There is, however, a demo that you can play in the meantime. Hushaf, what do you have next for us?
Let me take a look at my book. Turbo Golf Racing.
Explain. Explain yourself, young
man.
man.
Rocket League, but instead of football, it's golf.
Okay.
So I think this could be a very fun multiplayer game to play with your friends. There's 3 different game modes. The first is an 8 person race where each person has their own golf ball and you have to try to hit it into the hole as fast as you can. Unfortunately, your opponent's golf balls are kind of like ghosted out, so you can't interfere. You can only interfere with the vehicles and not the balls. I hope they change that in the future, because I feel like being able to interfere with your opponent's ball will be pretty cool. Then there's a time trial, which is just you trying to get it into the hole as fast as you can just by yourself. And then obviously that goes on the leaderboard, which you can go against your friends. And then a standard 1v1, which is you playing golf with another friend, taking turns to hit your ball. And there's a Mario Kart-esque essence to it, because when you're doing the 8-person race, there are like boxes you can get to get certain power-ups and stuff. But it does look like a very fun game to just like hop in and play with your friends.
I'm looking at the pictures now, and I'd say it's less golf than it is just what's the game you just mentioned with the football?
Rocket League.
It looks more like just Rocket League on a golf course than it does look like golf.
You're not wrong. Like the only like time it's golf is the 1v1.
Yeah, you're not like taking shots, right? You're just
all
moving
at
it
the
constantly, as opposed to like doing swings and like tallying up your par and stuff, which is fine. But it's like it seems like it would just be like a fun arcadey kind of game, just like Rocket League.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll become like a professional league as well, like they do in Rocket League? That'd be sick.
I think eventually, but I feel like there's less skill involved in this compared to Rocket League.
Yeah. Also, you can't like you're not necessarily competing against each other with the one ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like maybe, like I said, if they introduced you being able to interfere with your opponent's ball, maybe. But also like Rocket League, it's also like another team sport, because it's like 3v3, 4v.
So it's not like the Sidemen Golf Extreme Challenges.
No,
Okay.
no, it's not.
Because those are some of my favorite videos.
Okay, I guess my next game I'd like to it's called Botany Manor. Look, this is not gonna be for everyone. It releases on the 9th. But the basic
Botany
idea
Manor.
is it looks very pretty. As a side note, you are this person in a like garden in a manor, right? You have your manor. There's a garden, and you need to go around planting plants, studying plants, fusing them to make more magical looking stuff as well. Very simple. It looks very calm and chilled.
Is it the base buildy?
No, it doesn't look like it has base building elements at all.
Okay.
Honestly, it looks very simple. I imagine it'll be a game you buy, you play it for a couple of hours, and you're like, okay, cool. Unless I'm very mistaken and there's some sort of a twist. But it just
Like
it seems like a very, very chilled research and gardening kind of game.
Okay.
Nothing too out there, but I saw it and I thought, this looks peaceful.
You're a gardener.
I am a gardener.
Yeah, you're
yes.
a gardener, dude.
I'd enjoy the shit out of this for sure. Just I don't know. Did you guys ever play
It's a very cozy game.
The Witness by any chance?
Mm-mm.
The
Never heard
puzzle
of it.
game from a couple of years ago. Very like lots of very interesting puzzles. And you pretty much are just this character wandering through a world.
Is that one
playing
where you're
different
like going
puzzles.
through the desert?
They are like there's a bunch of different biomes, different kind of zones. So you have to solve puzzles.
I've seen like
We might have played a bit
trailers.
together on my laptop actually.
Might have.
But it gives a similar kind of vibe where you're
Okay.
just on your own bus at your own speed, going through different puzzles and doing very, very simple. But I like sometimes the most simple stuff is the most effective.
Simplicity. There's fun in simplicity.
But yeah, they're just Botany Manor. Check it out.
Okay, I think my next one is No Rest for the Wicked.
Money don't grow on trees.
This is a precision action RPG. It's entirely handcrafted, very highly detailed, and there is a co-op option, but if you want to play co-op, but
I've seen this.
yes, so it's Diablo meets a Souls game.
Yeah.
It's got that Diablo camera angle. I think it's called an isometric angle, when it's like
Top down, yeah.
it's like that 30, 45 degree, very close up to your character.
Mm-hmm.
Very incredibly beautiful game. It's from the same studio that brought Ori and the
Ori and the Fire.
Yeah.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah,
Ori
and-
and the Will of the Wisp.
yeah. So very excited to see what they do with
very
this.
pretty.
Yes,
So
it's very
here's-
pretty.
I do actually know one thing about this game, and it's specifically from, I think, a CEO or the lead developer. And they said that this game is going to redefine the genre, which immediately sends off red flags.
Well,
Just
is this gonna be a
because
quadruple
it's
A
Triple
like
A.
See.
it's this idea of like the confidence to be like, yeah, we are shaking things up. We are
You're making a Souls game.
we're making something completely fresh, completely new. But specifically, they said we're gonna redefine the genre. I think that might not be verbatim, but I'm 90%.
Right now, there's very limited gameplay, and only a few people have had their got a hands-on experience with the game.
Yeah.
But from the people who have, they said it is really fun. It's really interesting. It's a game that wants you to explore the world. There's a lot of times where you'll find like a locked door somewhere, and you won't even know about it till you find a key, and you're like, oh, maybe that key was for that door.
That's
back
so
there.
Dark Souls. That's basically Dark Souls.
That's what I said.
so Dark Souls.
That is the most Dark Souls thing ever. Backtracking, baby.
Yeah, the actual moves and gameplay looks pretty complicated. You get your not complicated, but you get like your light and heavy attacks. So those are your standard attacks. You can block, parry, roll, dodge, roll.
Dodge roll.
You also get separate attacks for when you're falling from somewhere, or if you're dashing. Then those moveset change. And there was something else, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's a bit more complicated than just your standard attack, light, jump.
I've basically seen the gameplay of him of that guy fighting the boss at the end where it's like raining. Have you guys seen that?
Why do you want to bring that up?
It's
What
like
was
it's like an undead like creature, and I just remember like seeing the visual, the elements of it, and it looks really pretty.
I've got it open over here. It does look
like the rain looked really good, and it looked gritty and dark.
Okay.
It is, yeah,
very cool,
very stylized. But all handcrafted.
Yeah.
Also, there's
when you say handcrafted, what do you mean?
Drawn backgrounds that would then scanned in.
Oh, so it had like the style is probably
it does have like
iconic.
a stylized sort of blend where it's like realistic, gritty, but also stylized.
It looks like I don't know how to better to explain it except to say that just visually the fantasy dial like everything has a bloom effect. Everything is very saturated. It's like the lighting is gorgeous.
The lighting's good.
There's also going to be a very bit smithing mechanic to it where you'll find different like pieces and stuff, and you can create your own weapons in order to kit out yourself.
Awesome. Well,
you mean
very,
like
very
in
cool.
Zelda where you could make like a super long spear? Or am I thinking of?
I haven't played Breath of the Wild enough to be like.
Sorry. No, ignore me.
I know that in Tears of the Kingdom can't you like add weapons to the ends of other weapons?
Yeah, that's what I think that's what I'm talking
with
about.
like a sticky.
I don't know.
mechanic.
I've literally tried my best to avoid seeing anything with Tears of the Kingdom because I just want to experience it myself.
Right. Okay.
Fair enough.
Anyways, so No Rest for the Wicked releases on the 18th of April. Come on. Silly goose.
April Fools.
The last one from my side, I think, is going to be a game called Inkbound. Which kind of just looks like a bit of a Hades reskin, I got to be honest. But it looks very cute. Maybe a bit more playful, a bit more goofy. And just like Hades, it's a bit of a dungeon crawler. You are collecting power-ups, improving your character a bit. But it's also MMO. So you can play with your friends. And I think that's the biggest difference between this and Hades. In that
Is it free to play?
Yeah.
No, it is it's released already. It is not free to play though. In rands, it's $270. But like it's also a bit of a deck builder where you come across different options for cards that can improve your character and so on. Looks very cool. You can play with your friends, and I think when I was watching the trailer, it said backed by Critical Role as well.
Whoa.
So I could be wrong though.
There's also another. There's something else. There's another game I saw that's also backed by Critical Role.
Do you know what? Actually, I think I'm just confused. Getting my wires crossed. It might have been Tales of Kenzera. Sorry, not Inkbound. I apologize for that. Tales of Kenzera was done in association with Critical Role, which I don't understand the link at all. Maybe just in world crafting or story building.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. But yeah, Inkbound for sure. Check it out. Looks very pretty. Looks very cute. I don't know, Hushab, do you have one more for us?
Oh, how about I got a couple, but let's go with another Crab's Treasure.
Okay,
Baby Souls game.
We've talked about this before,
Yeah.
actually. But please enlighten us.
So you are a crab whose shell has been repossessed,
Nice.
and basically you are looking for the treasure, so you can be able to buy your shell back. But there's a bunch of other hunters also who are also looking for this treasure, and you're trying to be the first one to get there. You can get different shells, trash. But yeah, trash that you can use as a shell, and a lot of other creatures that you find also use trash as like weapons and stuff in the story.
Okay.
But yeah, it is billed as a Souls game for kids. I think it'll be like the type of game like a couple years from time when kids will play it now will be like, yeah, this is the game that got me into Souls.
This is what got me into
Yeah.
Dude, it's a gateway drug for
It's going to be a
Yeah,
gateway
dude.
drug.
The Souls way.
It's very vibrant. It's really colorful. All the characters look so like really cute and adorable. Voice acting is also pretty decent from the
Is it a
trailer.
voiced main character?
Yeah.
Wait, are you a crab?
Yes, you
A
are a
hermit
crab.
crab.
Mr. Crab.
What's the secret ingredient to your patty?
Whale.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Your mom.
You're hella rude.
Yeah, but that comes out at the end of the month, 25th April. So if anybody's looking to get into a Souls game, maybe try this.
Yeah,
Okay,
baby
awesome.
Souls.
Dude, there's a ton of games coming out every single month nowadays. Like, if you just go to GameSpot, they have a list of like 30 games.
Yeah.
We listed maybe like 10. I know Hushaf wanted me to talk about Manor Lords, but I
that
haven't seen
seems
enough.
You love that
I
game.
imagine I would, but like there's too much going on.
Too
There's
much.
Biomorph, Turbo Kid, Europa, Biogun, Kingsgrave,
Ooh,
Grounded.
Europa at first glance looks like a Breath of the Wild ripoff, but it is its own thing.
Okay, Planet of Lena, Sea of Thieves is coming to PS5. There's a Demon Slayer game.
It's a Mario Party-esque game.
Oh, sweep the board. Okay, on Switch.
And
So
Path of Exile 2.
Path of Exile 2. Is that coming out
I
this
think
month?
it's like coming out soonish.
There's a Pathfinder game that's coming out also.
Or it might be in PTR, but you know.
Path of Exile.
I did see some really cool footage from Path of Exile.
online.
Yeah.
Okay. On
Maybe-
is it not already out?
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
No, coming soon. It just says coming soon, which
Okay.
could mean at any point this
Yeah.
year.
It's basically the same of where they've made it Souls-like,
Okay, awesome.
which is
Fantastic.
cool.
So lots of games. So
Oh,
many
can I talk
games.
about one more?
Okay, I will give you one more game.
Ereban Shadow Legacy. It's a stealth game. It's a bit like a cyberpunk Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
You play as this character, what's her name? Iana. She is the last member of her clan, and it's kind of like she has
Uchichi.
mystical abilities where she's able to go into shadows and traverse the environment wherever there's a shadow.
Nice.
So it's a stealth game. So if you get caught, it's game over.
Okay.
But you can do different things. You can either kill the people that you in the game, or you can incapacitate them, or you can just ignore them completely and try to get around them. And the decisions that you make in the game, whether you do it bloodthirsty, pacifist, are going to in fact impact the story.
Okay.
It looks really, really cool. I assume there's going to be a puzzle element because you traverse through the shadows. So I assume there's going to be times where you have to manipulate light in order to get to an area that you wouldn't be able to get to before.
That is quite.
But
that
it looks
sounds cool.
really cool.
I love the art style. It looks super, super pretty, and the lighting especially, obviously because you're like traversing shadows, so it's the lighting is probably the most important part of level design here. Very cool. Awesome. Okay, I don't know. We chatted about what, like 11 games just about. But hopefully if you're listening and one of them caught your fancy, you'll go check it out.
Games of the games we discussed, which one would you guys
Yeah,
are really
actually,
keen to do?
by the time this releases, some of them will already be out. So please, if you're commenting or like chatting or whatever, which ones have you played? Which ones would you want to play? Kieran, of the ones we described, was there one that caught your fancy specifically?
Well, I'm really thinking about the crab ones.
Dude, you're an
Baby
open
Souls.
book when it comes to Souls games.
I know. And maybe
The one that you saw pictures of. What was the one that you talked about, Hushaf?
Oh, shit,
Shadow Warrior, no?
No Rest of the Wicked.
No Rest for the Wicked.
yes, No Rest for the Wicked. Sorry,
I imagine that's also right up your alley.
that's basically a soul. Yeah, I'm in.
Hundreds.
I'm a
Okay.
basic-
No, but that's Souls meet Diablo, so you're
That's
too.
fine, that's
You're
fine
too.
But yeah, like, we'll kind of round out our conversation for today. We looked at a bunch of different
Maybe on
news.
you. What are
What?
you going to be playing?
What am I going to be playing?
Of all the games we talked about?
Botany
plant
Manor.
game.
Botany
There we go.
Manor, 100%.
He's a god.
I kind of want to get. It's not a game, but the Spirit City lo-fi thing that I talked about. I love organizational stuff, and it just seems super cozy, especially going into winter. I feel like I've been talking nonstop about it.
I think it would be. I think I might also get that.
Yeah,
just to
for,
see.
like, to see if the productivity works for you. Pricing. Well, there is a demo so far, so we could actually right after this download it and see how it goes.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Because I could use some help with planning my life.
But honestly, Another Crab's Treasure might be my gateway drug to Souls games because I've never played one before.
Yeah.
So and it seems like wholesome and cute enough for me to like actually give it a shot.
Not so
Also,
overwhelming.
Not so
Like
overwhelming,
Elden
exactly.
Ring.
And then Sandland. Ever since you said base building, I'm like, what? What about
Jeez,
you?
man.
Of the stuff that we talked about, anything that
Definitely Tales of Kenzera. So
Yes,
I love my
okay.
Megalovanias.
Yeah.
Megalovanias?
Metroidvania, sorry, yeah.
Megalovania
Megalovania is something
is-
different, yeah. Metroidvania.
Power hungry freak.
Well, I
dude.
am one. I love my Metroidvania games.
Okay. Anything else?
Definitely Ereban, Shadows of Legacy, and I need a good puzzle game, so Children of the Sun. I'll pick up also.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. Phenomenal. Unreal. Anyways, that does round out our conversation now. Thank you for interrupting me earlier. My goodness. But yeah, we have been underleveled. How do we exit? How do we end this?
Well, as
Save
you know,
game.
I'm Kieran.
I am Hushaf.
I'm Bajon.
And this has been Underleveled. You can find us on all the different socials. That's Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, MySpace, Mixit, LinkedIn even, if you really feel like it. At Underleveled. That's UNDRLEVELED.
Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
And leave a
and
comment
subscribe.
if you're feeling
Yeah.
risky.
Did we talk about any of the games that you were looking forward to? Did we miss any of the games that you were looking forward
We
to?
definitely missed some games, but
Or did we get you interested in any games that you didn't hear of?
And as always, if you have any hateful comments, please direct them exclusively at Hushaf because he deserves it.
Don't start a race war.
What if the other people like commenting are Indian?
Nobody hates Indians more than other Indians.